In our last video, we talked about how to incorporate reading in the classroom. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit more about why we do that and how it's going to benefit your students. By third grade, students who are reading at grade level are more likely to be successful in the next 9 years of their schooling. This is because as students get older, they're required to take on more of their own learning. Students are asked to read independently, they're asked to do research, they're asked to read instructions independently. If a student is reading below grade level, this makes that process much harder. So we want to do as much as we can in their formative years to help them become better readers and grow in a love of reading. As an art teacher, you guys are mystical and magical creatures. So the more you show the love of reading to your students, the more they're going to buy into the love of reading as well. One way I like to share my love of reading with students is through read-alouds. Read-alouds are a great way to model appropriate reading to your students. When you hold a book upright, you're modeling to a student that there's a specific way that a book needs to be read. When you open the book, you're modeling to young students which way we read. When you read and follow along with the words, you're showing them that the words are represented in the book. But not only are you teaching them how to read, you're teaching them how to read in a fun and engaging way. Those comprehension questions we talked about in the last video are a great way to get them engaged. I like to, before we read, do a picture walk. And in the picture walk, I'm increasing engagement because there are things happening in this book that will pique a student's interest, but they might not understand exactly what's happening until I read it. So as we go through, we might talk, oh, there is a monster in this picture, and it looks like the monster's alive. I wonder what's going to happen. I might ask the question, well, do you think that Jeremy and this monster will end up as friends? And as I ask those questions, I'm piquing their interest. Now they have to listen because they want to know the ending to this story. They want to know, do they become friends? How does Jeremy get rid of this monster? And so they want to listen to the read aloud to find the answers to those questions. I also love to make my read-alouds super engaging. I like to almost create a one-man show out of my read-alouds. I have voices for different characters. I know that might be a little bit out of some of your comfort zones, but the more expressive we can be, the more students hear how reading should sound. If we sound monotone while they're reading, their fluency will never increase because they don't understand that reading should be conversational. Like I said, I love to come up with different character voices for each of my stories, and it really does heighten the engagement. When students are giggling and laughing and commenting on the voices that I use, they're once again engaging with the text. For example, when I read Jeremy draws a monster, I've got a fun voice for the monster. So the monster gets pretty demanding here in the middle of the book, and I'll say,
"Draw me a television. I want to watch the game. Draw me a hot dog too. Draw me a telephone. Somebody might call."
Okay? And all the ridiculous requests that the monster makes is even funnier with a silly voice. Your vocal expression, the speed in which you read, and your interactions with the illustrations will show children how they should be interacting with books and heighten their engagement with them. Another great way I like to use reading in the classroom is by building mini libraries. For example, we just talked about in my previous video how I do a unit with Henri Matisse in first grade. I like to build a reading library that I set up in the back of the room with different books about Henri Matisse. Some of them are fictional books, such as When Picasso Met Matisse, and some of them are nonfiction books, like this book here that includes several artists, including Henri Matisse. Each of these books have interesting, fun facts about the artist, but it also has engaging illustrations. So even our lowest level readers can engage with these books and the colorful illustrations when they're done early or incorporating a specific style. Like I said, I like to put this in the back of my room. Students already know in my classroom when they're done, they can excuse themselves and start looking and engaging with these books. When we bring reading into the art room, students learn that there's an interconnectedness between all the things that they're learning. Reading is not separated from art in our daily lives, and it shouldn't be in their education either. Remember, you are the magical art teacher, so if you share your love of reading with them, they will learn to love to read too. Next, we can talk about how you can collaborate with classroom teachers to help you incorporate reading into the classroom.